it's Betsy, and today we're going to be doing a makeup declutter. Now, I went through my collection slowly but surely and been picking out things that I don't like or things that don't work for me anymore, things like that, because my collection is so huge and I want to keep the products in my collection that I absolutely love, so that way I can actually get use out of products. I don't want to keep having to try to reach for products that I really don't like. So these are things that we're going to be getting rid of, and I'll explain to you why. We'll be getting back on keto and CrossFit next week. I've actually been doing really good on it, but Wednesday I wasn't feeling that great, so we skipped over that video. So we'll just start back next week. Okay, so to start off, we'll go over a lipstick that I've realized that I don't like. This is one of the Too Faced. I'm not sure which one it is, but these are the ones that have like the cocoa butter in it. The shade is called Skinny Dipping, and it looks like this. I'm getting rid of it because when I wear this, it is just not a flattering color on my face. It is a little bit too of a pukey, orangey kind of color. Now on my hand it looks pretty, and that's whenever I bought it, I swatched it on my hand, but wearing it on my lips, it's just not flattering. So I'm getting rid of it. Next up, so I'm going to go over things that aren't eyeshadow palettes first. Next up is the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach Blush. As you can see, I've actually used this quite a bit, but it is getting hard pan, and when you see it swatched on my hand, it doesn't give enough color to it anymore, and it's just not my favorite. I'm also going to be getting rid of my MAC Highly Illogical. This is from the Star Trek series, and I've actually used this bronzer quite a bit, but again, it's a little bit too shimmery. I don't want to be having shimmery bronzer. And if you can look, I mean, you can see I've used this a lot. It's just, and plus it's getting super old. I mean, that thing is a few years old, and you know, it's about time to get rid of it. I'm also going to be getting rid of my NARS Orgasm Blush. I'm not going to swatch everything. It looks like this. Beautiful color, but again, it's just not pigmented enough for my liking, and I have blushes that are close in that color that I like better. I'm also going to be getting rid of the Wet n Wild Dewy Foundation. This had great coverage. Love the way it looked on my skin. It broke me out. And I like the regular Photo Focus foundation. Haven't had many issues with it. It's just this one does not agree with me. So we are going to get rid of it. I'm also going to get rid of the Maybelline Super Stay. For some reason, and if you look at it in the bottle, it looks like it's a good shade match, but every time I wear this, it oxidizes so bad and it has an orange tint to it, and I've tried several shades in this and it's all done it. So we're going to get rid of that. Someone else can find some use for it. I'm also going to be getting rid of the ColourPop highlight stick and Buzzy Bullseye. Looks like this. I'm just not a fan of cream highlighters. It's just not my favorite type of formula. Got a bunch of eyeshadow palettes that I'm getting rid of. Okay, I'm also going to get rid of the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. This just didn't give any coverage whatsoever, and if I'm going to go through and put on a tinted moisturizer, I'm just going to use a regular moisturizer. This doesn't do enough coverage to hide anything on my skin where I actually liked it. So I'm also getting rid of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I tried it again today, and maybe you can tell, but it is all kinds of separated under my eyes. It just does not like my skin, so I'm getting rid of that. I'm also getting rid of the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid. Again, it's one of those liquid highlighters. Just doesn't work well on my skin. I'm gonna get rid of the ColourPop blush stick in Under Pressure. I'm just, cream products other than a cream contour, I'm just not a fan of. I'm also gonna get rid of, I think these are the ones that I have, the ColourPop My Little Pony, or no, these are the pure highlighting sticks. I have colored highlighters that are in powder formula that last a whole lot longer, and I never reach for these, so I think my daughter would get some use out of them, probably will like them. Some more face products that I'm going to be getting rid of. This came in a freebie set. This is the Makeup Revolution strobe balm. This just moves my makeup all around. Didn't like it. I have the Wet n Wild highlighting powder. I'm not sure which one this is. This has the skull on it. Way too light. I also held on to this, but I don't know why. Because this is the Wet n Wild Golden Flower Crown highlighter. These highlighters are stunning, but I have more expensive highlighters that look the same, and since I paid that money for them, I want to use them instead of that. I'm also getting rid of the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. The packaging on this is bulky, and the color of it is a beautiful shade. It's just, I don't know. I never reach for it because, again, I have things that are a whole lot more expensive in my collection that I reach for a whole lot more. I have the e.l.f. highlighting jelly. I bought this in a set with the Dewy Skin Finish, like it's their version of the, what is it, not their concealer, their primer that is like the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and this came with it. Again, I don't, liquid products, highlighters, not my favorite. I'm also going to get rid of this the ColourPop Super Shock Blush in the shade Get Laid. It works fine, it's just, it looks so dirty, and the only way I can get it to apply is using my beauty blender, and I don't really like having to do that. So, I mean, that's just me being me and particular about what I like and what I don't. I'm also going to be getting rid of my 3 ColourPop Colorful mascaras. I have yellow, pink, and Sky High. I don't wear colored mascaras, so my daughter will wear those. I'm also getting rid of the Ofra liquid lipstick in Verona. It's a pretty color. I just didn't like the formula. It's not my favorite liquid lipstick formula. Now we'll go ahead and get into face palettes first, and then we'll go into eyeshadow palettes. I'm gonna get rid of the Casey Holmes Physicians Formula set. It's a beautiful set. It's just big and bulky, and I have a single of the Deep Bronze Butter Bronzer, and the eyeshadows other than the green are kind of basic, and I just have formulas that I like a lot better. I'm also going to get rid of the Pixie and Chloe Morello blush, eyeshadow, and eyebrow set. The blushes are great. The eyebrow colors are great. I just never reach for the eyeshadows, and again, I have these blush colors in other palettes or singles that I like much, much better. So now we'll get into eyeshadow palettes, because there's a bunch, and there's some reasons behind it. So I'm gonna get rid of the Tarte Remix Pro. I bought this when it was 50% off. I was so excited to see a Tarte palette that had some color in it, but I'm just not a fan of their shimmer formula, and all the colorful shades are in shimmer formula, and it's just not my favorite palette. I'm also going to be getting rid of the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. The mattes that are in here, I just don't like the way that they perform, so Those are going bye-bye. The Colored Rain Smoke Show palette looks like this. Very pretty 6-pan palette, but Colored Rain is known, like what I've known from them is their shimmer formula, and this has one shimmer in it, and it is a black shimmer. And these peachy nudes, a lot of these colors are not the most flattering on my skin type, and it's only a 6-pan palette. Don't really need to hold on to it. I'm going to be getting rid of both of my Makeup Revolution. These are the Foil Frenzy. I have the Fusion and the Creation. They're pretty, but I never reach for them because it's a palette of just shimmers. And the shimmers are just not pigmented enough for my, and they're like a cream formula. Just not my favorite. I'm also getting rid of the Marc Jacobs. This is the iconic, the wild one. This was the Christmas collection, I think, from 2017. And I have these colors in a lot of other palettes that I think perform a lot better. So I'm getting rid of that. So for Too Faced palettes, I'm gonna get rid of my Natural Matte palette. Love the way these perform. Love the way they smell. The problem with it is I never reach for an all matte palette. I never do just an all matte look. So there's no point in me holding on to it. And I have those colors in other palettes. I'm also gonna get rid of the Just Peachy mattes. Again, they perform well, they're beautiful. It's just, I never reach for just mattes. I'm gonna get rid of the Too Faced Sweet Peach. Again, this is a palette that has been used and loved. It's just, again, I have these colors in palettes that perform better. So that's the thing, is I have palettes that I like better, and there's no point in holding on to palettes just to hold on to a palette. I'm also gonna get rid of the Nubian 2 by Juvia's Place. It looks like this. And again, this is just kind of a basic palette, and I never reach for it. And a lot of this is, it's not because it's a bad formula, it's just because I never reach for them. I am gonna get rid of all 4 of the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes finally. I have like the Ring the Alarm. I have these in other palettes that I like the formula better. The Armed and Gorgeous, again, I have these colors in palettes that I like better. The Dark Magic and the Bling Boss. So many palettes that I like the formula better. I've actually realized I'm getting rid of, I have these 4 and 2 more Morphe palettes. I'm getting rid of all my Morphe palettes. I'm just not the biggest fan of them, and I never reach for them. Like, I bought the Jeffree Star Morphe palette. I think this is probably, other than the original Jaclyn Hill palette, the best performing Morphe palette, but I never reach for it. I have these shades by Jeffree Star in other palettes that I paid more money for, and they perform better. There's no point in holding on to it. And then last but not least is the Morphe Artistry palette. This is the 39S. This is the purple and pink one. It looks like this. Very pretty. The shimmers in the center are what got me. But again, I have these colors in other palettes that I like the way that they perform better. So my daughter, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law will get more use out of this makeup than I will. And if they don't, whatever they don't want, there's a local women's shelter that helps abused women and things like that get back on their feet that I donate makeup to as well. And part of the reason why I'm doing, and I'm slowly but surely, I'll keep decluttering things as I go, is if it's not getting enough use and it's not getting enough love in my collection, there are other people that I know that will love them. Like my sister-in-law, she is just now getting into colorful makeup, but she doesn't want like bright purple eyes. she wants something that's going to be a little bit more muted. So there are things in there that she will like. There are things in here my daughter will like because she likes bright colors, but she doesn't always wear makeup. My niece, my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law will love the foundations. And she's at an age where, you know, her skin really doesn't break out at all. So there's no use in her worrying about that. And again, things for me, if they're not the right shade or they just don't work the way that I want them to, there's no point in continuing to hold on to them. And I have so much makeup still that even getting rid of this stuff, my collection is still way too much. And as I said, if I'm bringing something new into my collection, which I just brought in, there goes the blush, it's rolling away. Like I got the Anastasia Cherry palette, the Love palette by Natasha Denona, the Millennial Pinks palette by Melt. I also got the Bloodlust by Jeffree Star, the Sugar Pill Capsule Collection #1, and I just ordered, because I had a coupon for the Divine Rose and they released it again from Pat McGrath, I ordered that as well. These are things that I love, and I know that I love their formula, and those are the things that I'd rather keep in my collection than things that are just okay, or they're not things that I reach for on a daily. There's no point in holding on to those. Like, you will probably never see me buy just another plain matte palette again. Not because they aren't good, it's just I will never reach for them. I have to make myself grab for those, and so why buy it if I have to make myself use it? I want makeup that I want to grab for. So, I guess that's it for today's video, and that's why I wanted to make sure y'all knew what I did with my makeup, because I get asked all the time, hey, can I have your old makeup? One, I don't like to give makeup to random people. One, I would have to ship it, and then what if it breaks and all this other kind of stuff. And two, I know that there are people that are in situations that need this, and my makeup for the most part is in great condition, and I would rather donate it to like a women's shelter. So remember, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I guess that's it, so we'll see y'all on Monday. Bye.